Okay, let's try Emily from Michigan. Emily, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Are you an Emily from Missouri or Michigan?
My call board says Michigan, but if you're Emily from Missouri, let's talk to you.
Yeah, I'm Emily from Missouri. Let's talk. Oh my goodness! I want to say, Ms. Becker, you are an amazing person for doing what you do. I've been keeping up with you. You are absolutely amazing. I have no idea what has happened to my family. I don't know how this happens to my family. I'm actually a grandparent and a licensed kinship foster parent. I have a Missouri state license from the state of Missouri for foster care. I had my biological granddaughter and her older brother, not related to me. He's classified as a foster child for 3 years and 2 months. He started having some emotional issues due to his mother's kind of unpredictability with visitation. I kept reaching out to the case manager. He was enrolled in an ICANN2 Learning Center here in Salem for 2 years and 10 months. And his behavior got so out of control that I was asked not to return him to school. We were pursuing guardianship. We had agreements to do guardianship with the children. I got into a argument. They claimed that I asked for the child to be removed from my home. I never asked for him to be removed. I even took him to the developmental preschool here in Dent County, and he had an evaluation on August the 23rd, 2019, to see what kind of services they could provide for him. I mentioned this at an FST meeting on September the 6th, 2019. This is where I'm going, and I took him to his pediatrician. I contacted Pathway, which is now Compass Health. I kept getting told any emotional issues has to go through their case manager. The case manager has to initiate any type of emotional counseling. And it also says in the handbook on page 37, the foster care parent handbook, that Children's Division, you have to contact them for any kind of emotional support. On September the 25th, 2019, I had 2 hours notice that they were going to remove my foster son and my biological granddaughter, claiming that I asked for them to be moved. I told the case manager, I said, absolutely not. We want to adopt both of these children. We actually have consent to adopt, signed consent to adopt the children. And she told me I no longer have that option. I'm going to try to make this story really condensed because I've got some really powerful things that's just recently happened. Needless to say, I've hired an attorney. I've been in a court battle for almost a year for the children. We had a court date right before COVID-19 hit in January. I believe it was January the 15th of 2020 when the case manager said that if the little boy was going to get returned to me, that I was going to place him with his biological father, a man that I've never met in my life, who was actually incarcerated at the time. He is a known felon. He was incarcerated the second she said that. Well, we just had our second go-around in the court system, and I'm just really trying to wrap my head around how all of this happened. The judge found any of Children's Division's claims completely unsubstantiated. They had no support or proven any kind of evidence whatsoever in my case. Then he went on about COVID-19. They had been in a current foster care placement who is not related to these children at all. COVID-19 has, of course, delayed court dates, and because of that, he would not return the children. And I'm trying to understand why COVID-19 is being used against families for reunification. And there has to be something. I mean, we want to adopt both children. This is absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, child welfare agencies should be held accountable to the community. They're utilizing state, federal funding, and I understand that their job is protecting children, but it's also the right for the children to be with their families. You know, there's nothing in my background. The caseworkers actually tried to have my license revoked in April of 2020, and there was a full hearing, and I did not get my foster care license. I am current, still comply with Missouri state standards, but I cannot get my granddaughter and her brother out of the foster care system. Any suggestions? I mean, I really want to tell this story. This cannot happen to families in the future. This is not acceptable.
Can I first say that I thank you for sharing and what you said about me. I appreciate that so much. And also, I would love for you to share your story with me.
Yes, I know that we've been trying to touch base. I really want to get the full version of this story out there, and I would really like to help you. You know, I'm part of the University of Missouri now. It's called Parent Link, and if I would have known about the Parent Link resources that are available in my state, I would not be in the situation that I'm in now. I am determined to get lawmakers to look at this, and I read that COVID should not be used against family reunifications, but judges are using this. Have you heard of this before?
No.
Using COVID as an excuse?
Exactly. The amount, court dates were delayed because of COVID-19, so it's delayed the court date. What they stayed in their current placement, they've been in their current placement for 15 months, and that judge, he just said this on the 21st of this month, just last week. He did not want to disrupt the current placement. He's talking, he made a lifetime decision. There was no consideration that the little girl is my biological granddaughter, my son's daughter, and we had them for 3 years. She was only 2 months old when she came to my care, and he was 17 months old, so they're 4 and 5 now. No consideration that they were placed with us for 3 years and 10 months. He did acknowledge that we do have a bond. Now, I do web. We get to do the web, the Zoom thing, where I get to see them every other week, but I have not got to hold my grandchildren in over a year.
Wow.
And that's what he didn't want to disrupt their placement, their current placement. He thought it would be disruptive.
Where is your son in all of this?
My son is incarcerated in Florida. Yes, no. They are in the process of terminating the rights. My son is incarcerated in Florida, and he has done some pretty crazy things, and so he's incarcerated. And the children have the same mother, but they do not have the same father. Both parents, however, are willing to, we've already got consent to adopt for my granddaughter. She's consent to adopt, but the biological father, he's in and out of prison. The biological father for my foster grandson, he's in and out of, the Missouri corrections facilities all the time, and he's very difficult to locate. But he has had no contact with this child in 4.5 years, so his really shouldn't matter.
And you said that you have your foster license? Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do. I am licensed by the state of Missouri. And the case manager, I went to a training class. On March the 15th of 2020. It was given through Parent Link to the University of Missouri. And right after I went to a training class, that case manager tried to revoke my license, and I did not have my license revoked. I mean, there's just so much to be. Did she give a reason as to why she was trying to do that? Oh, there is a list of reasons. I would love to forward you this email of all of the reasoning that she came up with. One of the concerns that they had was that I gave the biological mother a cell phone. That is how ridiculous a reason he's got.
Hey, Cynthia, why don't you give her your number right now? We have to take a break, and maybe you can discuss this with her, off the air.
Okay, my phone number is 626 594 5526. So 626-594-5526. And just you can message me, and then we can set up a time to talk. How's that?
That's absolutely lovely. I know he says he's got to take a break. I do have one more question. If I could just say it after we come back from break, and then I'll let you move on to the next caller. I have a big question.
Okay, Emily, hold on. We'll continue with you after the break. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We'll be right back after these messages.